Today, I'm very excited to introduce you to the wonderful Talmar Anderson, also known as the Boss Muse, which I love that. Now,
Thank you.
I'm fortunate enough, Talmar is actually in the same mastermind as me that I traveled to the US for. And I've said to her a few times, I wish I'd known her a decade or more ago when we first started really upskilling and hiring lots of people. She is the guru when it comes to showing business owners and entrepreneurs just like us the how of hiring. It's a really tricky thing to do. We think, oh, I can afford to hire someone, get them in, but there's a whole lot more to it, and especially to do it well. So Talmar, she's got all the tricks, and she's the CEO and founder of Boss HQ, which you can find, and there will be a link. She's got a great freebie, which is really useful. I've downloaded it myself and will definitely be utilizing it. She will actually show you effective hiring strategies and management best practices so that you can scale, because we're all aiming to scale. That's what entrepreneurship is about. And to be able to scale well with the right people and the right hires and actually navigating this path properly to building a fantastic team, Talmar is your girl. So, Talmar, welcome. I'm excited
Oh,
to see you.
Allison, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing this goodness. We just need to make it easier for everybody. It doesn't have to be so hard, darn it.
Yes, we definitely do. It's so hit and miss when we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, luck can help and it confuses us because we're like, but it worked once. Why won't it work these other second, third,
Yes.
fifth, sixth, seventh time? Right.
Yeah. Now, we've been hiring people for a long time, decades, and it's not easy. And we still have issues that crop up now, but having a process and a strategy in place makes all the difference in the world. And I work with entrepreneurs. That's what I do. And very recently, like in the last few days, I'm talking to people and saying, you should not be paying this person.
Whoo, sing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got somebody on their books who's not showing up. They're not
Mm-hmm.
doing the work. They're not
Mm-hmm.
responding to calls.
Yeah.
Bad hire.
Bad hire, bad hire. And here's the truth, like, give yourselves a break, bosses. No amount of great bossing, like great management skills, will fix the wrong hire. This isn't about you, boss. It is about identifying that this person is not successful in this role. And it's time to put your business needs above the personality you currently have in that role. And it's hard until you understand that you're making a decision that serves your clients and the rest of your team. And oh, yeah, maybe eventually the profitability and the success of your business. That's all needs to be considered too. So we just get stuck in that spot.
So when it comes to entrepreneurs particularly, and
Yes.
because we hear so much, we hear things like hire for the drudge jobs you don't want to do. Hire a VA. You can get a VA for $10 an hour. And then you hear begin with an executive assistant. And my immediate thought is an executive assistant's going to cost 70 grand a year, certainly in Australia.
Well, you're thinking like a corporate and you're thinking like full time. So a
Yeah.
good assistant could come on as a part time assistant, could still be 5 days a week, and therefore is not 70 grand a year, right? It's going to be much less and it can be just as impactful. But it does depend on the person, the
Mm.
position. I get nervous about the idea of just hiring a VA. That's to me, if you tell me you're going to hire a VA, that's like saying, I'm hungry. Let's go to a restaurant. It's just not specific enough, right? And
Mm.
there's so many types of skills and tasks that different virtual assistants that are successful and good they can do. So the clarity for a boss, anyone that's ready to hire as an entrepreneur, your definition of success is going to be utilized again and again and again because you're building a thing. Entrepreneurs build something, right?
Mm.
And so that means we're constantly redefining success. And never is that more critical than when you're considering hiring. You need to know what the right hire will look like before you spend time and money trying to attract someone into your team.
Fantastic. So as an entrepreneur, okay, I've got this startup, it's now growing and I'm making money, and I think I can't do all of the things, I don't have all of the time. What
Mhm.
do I do, Talmar?
Well, there's three things you can do to identify your next best hire. And that is something that we can go over, but we also went over
Yeah.
in a different training. So the thing to know is really identify where you are spending time and energy that can be served easily by someone else, right? The piece that you hate,
Mm,
someone loves to do. The piece that is time intensive because it's not your wheelhouse, right? So many entrepreneurs push themselves to do social media when they don't know how to design campaigns or even how to use a scheduler or how to write copy for certain calls to action. There's a lot of nuance to really successful
mm,
social media. And we're told as entrepreneurs, figure it out, it'll be okay. And so we slap something on or we make ourselves drudge through it all when really that's not where we should be spending our time and energy. We could hire someone that could be far more
mm.
effective, whether that's a vendor, an independent contractor, or an employee. Depends on your business model, what would be the best hire for you.
Right. Okay, so for the viewers, just for clarity, Talma kindly spoke to my leadership mastermind. We had a wonderful session with her and she dropped some serious gold. So if we're actually, going over things, that's where it comes from, just to give you
And I
context.
would tell you, you should check out her leadership because it's an
Yes.
amazing group.
It is the most beautiful group. I do love them. I bounce out of bed 4 a.m. for that group. It's just like the best group. Anyway,
It was
that's
amazing
so
conversation, amazing discussion.
yeah, and just these incredible high-powered women. Anyway, I digress. So Talmar very kindly came, but we had an amazing discussion that went like full 90 minutes. And there was some serious gold was dropped in there.
Mm,
And so I want her to touch on this and share with all
absolutely.
of you guys. And one of the things that I dearly love for all of you who know me, systems, processes, procedures.
Mm.
And so many times we hire without a process.
Oh, yeah, we think we can fit it in our schedule that, taking the time to plan what you need to hire and what success will look like will inform your vetting process so that you get the right person. Now, that's a fancy way of saying if you have a good hiring process, you
Mm,
will be able to have repeatable, predictable results. And if we really, again, for us in our system, bossification, the biggest piece that we spend time on that no one else is telling y'all, so listen up, is learning how to identify what you need and what success looks like for you before we start to attract through employment ads or RFPs or whatever type of person we're trying to hire. The time we spend identifying success will exponentially inform and build and attract the best possible team for you. So just that one step, adding that step into your hiring process, creating space to plan and define success for you in this role in your business will make a huge difference.
yeah. So actually going to the trouble of planning it out. So when it
Mhm.
does come time to hire and
Yes.
you've never hired people before, that can
Yes.
be overwhelming. We often hire people because we like them when we talk to them.
Ah, but liking is not a requirement for the job, right? So
Right.
if I can share some new information with it, your
Yes.
audience, I say new because we didn't discuss this earlier, is we fundamentally believe every hire, whether vendor, independent contractor, or employee, should align with your business 4 different ways. And this is why hiring can be complicated, right? If we consider ourselves nuanced at small business entrepreneurs. We think we know how to write an employment ad and maybe a job description. And the two serve very different purposes. And we'll talk about that a different day. But that is just really usually based on what the position requires, right? If we were hiring, say, an SEO expert, they would need to understand search engine optimization, which is what SEO stands for, keywords. There would be certain things, knowledge base, experiences that they should be bringing. So oftentimes that's the first alignment, the position itself. What are the skills? But the second alignment is one we talk about in corporate America. And so small business owners and entrepreneurs picked up on it, but it's only a piece, is culture. Right? Culture is the alignment of our core values, right? In my company, in Boss HQ, we make a joke, militantly positive, if that's a thing, meaning no one gets hired on our team that doesn't really approach every situation with what are the possibilities? How could we make this a good thing? What could we do? How can we help our clients find the right answer and find a positive way to grow this? So that's a really important thing to our core values. We all have that positive bent that's natural to us and innate. It's not something you can't teach someone to have a positive mindset. So we have to learn how to vet for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How do you do that? What's a quick tip for vetting for a positive mindset?
Well, okay, positive, specifically for positive. So this is a question I got from somebody else, but I love it and I use it for all of our clients. It is on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is the best. How lucky in life would you say you have been? Because somebody that rates a 7 or higher is going to have a positive mindset. And the question allows for the possibility that they didn't have to work and suffer and claw their way, and they don't have that victim mentality, right? And the people that do will argue with you about the question. I don't think I can answer that. I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm like, is it the word lucky? Can we say blessed? Because some people, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's because I worked my ass off to get here. I put in the time and energy. I gave this to me. I did this. And that whole mentality says to me, this isn't somebody who's going to come in and see possibilities, which could include, I got here because other people or the universe or luck helped me get this goodness
or
in my life.
opportunity. They were lucky to get the opportunity.
Right?
Lucky to be born
that's a
where
good
you're
one.
born.
Yeah. That's my favorite question to go down that.
I'm going to steal that one, Talmar.
Please do. I use it. I give it to all my clients. I insist that they all use it.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, so there's 4 alignments. The first one was the position. The second one was culture. So then bossification, we believe that there's 2 more. The third one is going to be aligning to your clients. Not enough people include in their hiring process a respect, understanding, admiration for the client base your business serves. An example of that would be if I served huge corporations, Coca-Cola and these big companies, and I was hiring a software engineer. It doesn't matter what I'm hiring. And I bring them in and I need to make sure that they're not carrying some big chip on their shoulder because their parents worked for a corporation that ruined their 401k and they lost everything and they were destitute at the end of their life. Because I will tell you, this will absolutely impact how they perform. You will never get 110% from this person because they can't align fully. They might be great at the job, but they're not going to be there. And it affects tenure, right? If they like and respect and value your clients, they will stay in your company longer. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. Perfect.
So that's the third one. So we've got position, culture, and clients. The last one is my favorite. We want to align them to you, boss. The whole point we became entrepreneurs is we want to work with people that like to work the way we like to work. And not enough bosses are honest with themselves about what they like and how they want to work. Are they a morning person? Do they like to come into meetings and everybody collaborates? Do they just want to show up in a meeting where it's boom, 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 and everybody goes their own way? There's so many nuances to what we like to do and how we like to do it. Let's get clear and bring that into our vetting process. So we surround ourselves with people that like to work the way we like to work. So if we align those 4 ways, it will dramatically improve how you hire.
Yeah, fantastic. I love that. So the 4 again, position,
culture, clients, and to the boss.
Yeah, total alignment. Love, love, love it. Another piece of gold that you dropped this morning was during the hiring process, trust but verify. That when we
Mm.
do really like someone and our gut says these people are, oh, they're going to be great. I know they are. What we do next.
Well, so we usually start the conversation by talking about that gut. If your gut says no, we're like,
Mm,
trust the gut. Even if everything looks good on the resume and your gut is like, I don't know, there's just something about that Talmar. She's a fast talker and she doesn't connect with me. And I don't know if she'll have the patience. I'm like trying to think of something negative to say.
yeah,
So if that's true, even if it looks good on paper, it's better to say no to that hire because in the end, your intuition is telling you something's not going to work. Something's going to be a disconnect. And we regret it every time. But when the gut is a yes, and we're like, oh, right. I'm like, I love that Allison. Oh, I want to hire her and she's going to be amazing. And we're going to build this business together. And I start to dream and I see all the good things. And oh, yeah, we'll clink glasses at the end of the night. It'll be so much fun. We're going to celebrate. When we love the yes, it's important to slow down and go to the process. Because when we fall in like with somebody, we are not working the vetting process of a strong hiring process, right? We have
yeah,
to do the interviews, we have to check the professional references, we have to do the whole system because we're looking for a pattern of success in the results that we need. And liking them is not the defining
yeah.
requirement. It's just not.
Yeah, such good advice. And even when we think we know somebody or we know the people they've worked for, it's
Mm,
very easy. And I've fallen into this trap and I've thought, wow, they know the process of
yes.
my business because they've worked for a very similar business and they didn't at all. Had I verified, I would have got a bit more information, but I didn't. I halted the process rather than dig into, well, what are your skills and what would you do with this? And all those questions I might normally ask, I made the
Yeah.
assumption
Mhm.
because I really liked her and she'd worked for a very similar company and, with similar processes. And I just
Yes.
assumed. And yeah, we
It can
don't.
be very, very difficult, right? So the hardest part is you have trust with this person who referred somebody to you. But where we're really the stickiness comes in that it might be the same title or the same industry.
Yeah,
So we are assuming a knowledge and wisdom base on level to your definition of quality or
yeah,
success. And so a great story about that is I had a client, Mike, and he went to a networking event and he was complaining. He was like, oh, I just need to hire a VA. I'm going insane. And the guy who was sitting next to was like, I've got an amazing VA. And Mike goes, great, send it over. So literally the same day calls her and hires her. And it's 2 months. They don't see each other for 2 months because he skipped the meeting 1 month or something. But he goes back 2 months to his networking and he would storm straight up to the guy and is like, uh, do you hate me? What's the deal? And and his friend is like, why do you think I hate you? He goes, this VA you sent me is driving me crazy. She's impossible. She doesn't work on any of the things that I want. I'm constantly asking for stuff. It's driving me crazy. And his friend says, well, I don't know, man. She does a great job at organizing my files. She does a really good job with my calendar. She's amazing. I don't know why she's not great for you. And he goes, well, I don't know. I must have asked her to do that social media copy about 1 million times and she's not getting it done. It's driving me nuts. But
yeah,
Allison, you already heard it, right?
yes, yep,
So
yep,
they had
yes,
their definition of virtual assistant and what success and the tasks involved
yes,
entirely different.
yep,
We assumed because of a title, which is where bosses have the hardest part, right? When we
yes,
look at resumes, somebody might be called a customer service director. So we
yes,
think they're director level and they're great. But what we really are hiring is somebody's receptionist, and they just gave her the title so they wouldn't feel bad for how little they were paying her,
yes,
right? And so we can't trust, but to your point, what we
yep,
were discussing, trust but verify. We
yes,
have to know what does this person need to do in this role and what could they say to demonstrate knowledge and experience that we believe, and we have to get that in ideally two interview processes because we're looking for consistency of answers that
yeah,
makes sense, And then we add in the professional references and what they experienced. So now we can look for a pattern of success.
Yes, love it. Look for the pattern of success. Absolute. Fabulous.
Absolutely.
And
It will save you time, money, and heartache.
yes, yes. Look, you are an absolute mine of great information. So I'm trying to cherry pick. So, guys, make sure you do download Talma's fabulous freebie. She's got a worksheet and things so beneficial to entrepreneurs, which is exactly why I've asked her to be here. But, you know, one of the great things I really loved is your cheat code, because don't we all love a cheat code?
I'm like the cheat code is the 3 month. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. Cheat
Okay,
code,
good.
when to know to hire. I love this
Oh
because
yeah.
this is one of the reasons many entrepreneurs are sort of, "Oh, I don't think I can." And you
Yeah.
tell them how to cheat that one.
Well, a lot of times it's because we're worried we can't afford to hire, right? I know I need help, but I'm not making enough money. So there is a simple equation. And again, we have a guide. So if this goes too fast for you, one, you're
Yeah.
watching a video, pause it, write it down, think about it. It's okay. Slow it down. That happens a lot for people that listen to me. But you're going to start with the easiest is to remember when we hire someone, we don't pay them the full year's salary right away. So, if you're hiring somebody for a $40,000 a year job, you're not going to hand them $40,000. So let's break it down to the monthly budget. And the easiest way to do that is you divide it, whatever the figure is that whether it's an annual salary, or if you're talking about an independent contractor or vendor, you may have gone and got a quote for a monthly expense. Perfect. So go to your monthly budget, add a new line item that says new hire, and put the amount in there. So let's say it was $1,500 a month. So you add that to your monthly budget. And then every month at the end of the month, you see, did you bring in enough revenue to cover that extra expense? And if you can do that 3 months in a row, then it's time to hire, right?
Mm.
You've definitely covered it. You can see the numerical proof. We know we could cover it. It's not hurting us. We're not going in debt. We saw the pattern is there. We can cover it. So this gives us the confidence, the comfort to go forward. And that is the thing that will that's our little cheat code so that you can feel more confident that you'll be able to afford to cover the cost.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, many entrepreneurs, and there's a myriad of reasons behind it, but many entrepreneurs say, I don't want to hire people. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing.
And I think that's fine. Not everybody needs to grow their business, right? If you're happy with what you're doing, that's fine. However, be mindful that you need to protect your clients and your business because life happens. And where you have things like a parent that is failing health and it's an immediate need, or your best friend wins the Powerball and says, "We're going on a trip around the world, but you can't use your cell phone and we're leaving tomorrow." Right? You want to take
Mm.
advantage of these opportunities, but we need to know that you have someone behind you that will make sure your business is taken care of. So, in the world where you might not want a big team to manage, one, I would challenge that you probably haven't been hiring the right people. And that's why it stresses you out and you want to avoid it. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be hard. I truly, fundamentally, and intrinsically believe the team can be the best part of being an entrepreneur. The people you surround yourself are influencing your success. Why would you settle for less? Right? Let's do it with people we like and that want the mission and are great at their jobs. So I really believe that there's a way to have people support you. And if you're not going to hire, that's okay. But it does mean that you're limited in your potential for cash flow and profitability and revenues, as well as you are actually putting your business at risk for the days when something hopefully good, but sometimes life happens. And
Yeah.
I had that happen in 2016 when my father passed and I had to fly from the DC area to Phoenix, Arizona 2 weeks before we were launching a big 14-person mastermind. And it was a
Mm.
very expensive situation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very, very hard. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, thank you. He was
Yes,
lovely.
yes.
Yeah.
it's tough, on top of all the emotion and the grief and everything, you also had a big financial hit and a professional
Yes.
crisis.
Yeah, it slowed down the business growth because I didn't have people in front of clients yet. I
Mm,
didn't have that kind of support in my
yeah.
company. So it
Mm,
was, yeah, I lost deposits. I had to refund all the people because, when you lose someone, you're flying back and forth several times. I had a
yeah.
young son. So like everything took time and energy. And yeah, it was a big hit. But
Yeah.
the beautiful side is, 3 years later, when I was losing my mom and I had a beautiful team behind me, I could move my mom in with me
Mm,
and spend the last 6 months of her life together with her, knowing my clients were taken care of, I was taken care of, my business had what it needed, it could be where I wanted to be. And I would never have been able to do that if I didn't have the right people behind me.
yeah. So, Telma, I know this is a very broad stroke question, so you can answer with it depends on the business. But if you were to advise an entrepreneur who at this point in time is a solopreneur, their business is growing, they need to hire somebody,
Mhm.
where should they begin? What sort of position should they
Well,
be?
certainly it is it depends, but I think that there's a couple of answers we could go over. One is look for the task. Most of you have probably heard this. It's just you haven't done it. Do a time audit of your own time and look for the thing that is taking anywhere from 5 to 40 hours a month that you could hire somebody to do. We can start with vendors and independent contractors. And I truly believe small businesses, as entrepreneurs are growing them, are going to evolve. You're going to be a constant mix match of independent contractors while you're trying out different things. And then they'll come on, then not they will come on, you will hire employees, and then you'll have vendors serving you in different ways. So your team is vendors, independent contractors, and employees. You don't have to start with a 40-hour employee that you're Frankensteining a role and you're like, okay, I need them to do my bookkeeping receipts, and I really want them to write my social media copy, and it would be really great if they'd rub my feet at night too, because that's something I obsess about. I really want someone to rub my feet all the time. So that would be my dream Frankenstein role, but it's not going to be successful because I could hire the detail oriented person that would be great at the receipts that wouldn't be creative enough for the copywriting. Or I could hire somebody that was creative for copywriting that wouldn't be able to do the detailed work. So it doesn't matter how great they are at the one, all you'll ever see is the failure, and you'll put yourself through this ringer. It's
Mm,
about learning to identify the right things to hire in the right breakout for where you're at in your business right now.
yeah, fantastic. I love that. I don't know how to thank you. This has been fantastic. There's so much more we could chat about. I mean, just from our
All
session.
day, every day.
Yes, yes, but I will be putting the link in the notes. So wherever you see this, there is a link to Talmar's website. Go there and have a look. And if you are in a position to hire or you want to get into the position to hire, you need to go talk to Talmar. It's been
And it doesn't have to
so
be too hard.
wonderful to talk to you.
Thank you.
Really fabulous. And look, I think we might do this again at some point because this has been great. Thank you.
Anytime, anytime.
Thank you, Talmar.